Hi everyone, it's Jerry. Here's a cool composition by Nicolas Rossolimo. This is the first composition I'm sharing by him in this playlist. This one was published in 1928. It is White to Move, and as usual, I encourage you to pause the video and spend some time, as much time as you need, trying to work this one out. Come back to this video at a later stage for the solution. It's White to Move, and it's up to you to try and find the best continuation. Okay. The solution here is first off to not grab the pawn, and let me just quickly show why that is the case. It's because bishop takes knight, and this is a draw. With best play, white cannot win this. The first move must be rook to g8. One of the things I liked about this composition is the little bit of insight that we gain about the rook and the knight and how they interact or can interact with one another. By inserting this check, we're forcing the king to a square where the knight can next move and give a check. You'll notice c7 is covered. By inserting this check, the king must go to one of these two squares, one of these two light squares, same color square as the knight. The knight can next move and give a check. King b7, knight c5. Just this alone, this little interaction between the rook can be useful. Maybe in one of your own games, a knight would be attacking some piece on one of these highlighted squares and hitting with a fork. That's not the only interaction to be familiar with, but that's the first to note. After this knight c5 move, it's of course out of the bishop's way, so that's nice. White is ready to maybe grab the pawn and actually play a position where it is rook and knight versus the bishop. Black must move and attack the knight from this position. If he doesn't, suppose he goes to a7 or c7, we simply grab the pawn and this is a win for white. Therefore, black must approach the knight by way of b6 or c6. Suppose king c6. The knight can't move now and give a check. However, the rook can now play to c8, and this is the other little interaction between the rook and knight to be familiar with. What is this move accomplishing? Well, it's parrying the threat black has on white. It's relieving the pressure with tempo, with an attack against the black king, and doing so in a way where black cannot react and throw a punch back. Black cannot move towards the rook, in other words, and attack the rook because of how the knight is simply guarding those two squares. So from this position, black, I don't know, pick your favorite square, let's say here, white can now pick up the pawn and this will be a win. So, suppose black attacks the knight by way of b6, and this is really the main continuation you needed to calculate from the initial position. Suppose the knight is attacked along a diagonal, sidestepping these ideas where the rook gives a check and defends the knight along a file. What do we do now? From this position, if we're grabbing the pawn, they grab the knight, and it's yet again a draw. So where do we go with the knight is the big question. There's a couple squares. Knight d7 is not working, because after king c7, what's the move? The knight's attacked. Black is threatening to queen. Best is to maybe just grab the pawn. King takes knight, and this is a draw. The knight must go to a4. And you may already be seeing a pattern here with the knight. He started out on a6, went to c5, a4. This pattern continues. King b5 if you're going on the same file. Rook to a8, and then we pick up the pawn. So black continues to attack the knight along a diagonal. Knight c3, knight a2, knight c1, and this is the key idea to this composition. After king b2 or c2, well, if king c2, we could do this. But suppose king to b2, still following the same format along this attacking the knight, in other words, along a diagonal here. knight here is now covered by the bishop, but this knight is actually indirectly defended. How so? Only at this point, only after we have placed our knight on the first rank can we successfully grab the pawn. Because now, after king takes knight, we have rook to g1, which is a pin, and next we will win the bishop. So I thought that this composition was really neat. The little interaction between the rook and knight for this, I don't know, this little aesthetic idea here of the zigzagging of the knight all the way down to this first rank. If you did not come up with this solution, how might you have been able to do this? Well, I mean, the trick here was to try and find a way to maybe force the king to be on the same rank or the same file as the bishop. In situations like that, there is that idea of maybe a fork by the rook, or in this case, a pin and then win of the bishop by the rook. So, as usual, feel free to leave any feedback to this video, share if you got the solution or not, or whatever else you would like to share in the comment section below. As usual, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.